We are here at ComplexCon to learn from creatives, artists, and culture leaders about why they do what they do and what they think of God, religion, and the church.
All right, man, we are here with my friend Mike. It's good to meet you, dude. Tell us a little bit more about your brand.
Absolutely, yeah. So Super 73 was born out of our desire to create a bike that wasn't for typical bike riders. So we thought, hey, let's look at the space back in 2016 and address some issues that we see. So we made a bike that was focused on lifestyle, comfort, accessibility. You don't have to pedal, which means you don't have to sweat. And we really like that at Super 73.
Yeah, we love not sweating,
Yeah.
right? That's fantastic. Okay, so you kind of touched on it a bit. I don't think a lot of people think about creativity when they think about stuff like bikes,
absolutely.
but obviously that's super necessary. What is sort of your inspiration? How did you get into this kind of work? Tell us a little bit about your story.
I think what's exciting about Super 73 is we weren't bike people, and that was the biggest differentiator right there.
Yeah.
I came from Vine. I used to make content on Vine back in 2013.
We love Vine,
Yeah.
man. Let's go.
Yeah. So when we made this company, I was like, let's be a bike for creators. Let's be a bike for creatives.
Wow.
And so we partnered with Jesse Wellens, the YouTuber, for our very first mass market launch. Created a limited edition fashion-themed Super 73 called the Rose Ave.
Wow.
And that really clicked with creatives. And so from then on, as you can tell, we focused on customs, we focused on collaborating with different artists. We've done YSL, PSG, Neighborhood, Topgolf, Hot Wheels. So if no other bike company is in that space, we want to be in that space. And that's why we do it.
That's awesome. That's
you.
dope.
Well, I love, Zach and I, we come from a church, and I love, there was a problem, and then you fix the need to the problem. What is your ideas, examples of how to really figure out those needs and then push into it to fixing it? What sparked that? We see a need, and we're gonna fix that need.
Yeah, I think accessibility has always been big for us. As the economy has gone the way it's gone,
Sure.
I graduated high school 2009, so I came out during a recession. Then I started a company during a recession.
Wow.
And so I think for us, it's about making things accessible. And so our e-bikes have always been accessible. They're unbelievably priced. We could be charging more, we could be making more margin, we could be pocketing more revenue, but instead we want to put it back into the community. And as a result, we have massive communities that we call Super Squad. All across the world, and they do group rides, and everybody customizes their own bikes, and they'll help each other out in times of need. So it went from being this really cool kind of creator culture to a community culture.
Yeah.
And so our group rides every weekend have like 50 to 100 riders showing up.
Wow.
So we'll just storm the streets of LA together, we'll all get dinner together, and it's really like a massive family now.
Man.
I love how you push community. The problem was there's no community in this. With the church, man, community is our vision, it's our bread, it's our heart, it's our soul. What has been your experience with spirituality or even church, a lack of community or a lack in, what's been your experience in the church realm community at all?
Yeah, I grew up in the church my whole life, and when 2020 hit, I started to see some issues. For the first time, I started to see a lot of churches instead of accepting people and loving people, start to turn their backs. And of course, that's not every church. There's so many amazing churches out there that really cater to the community and build that loving relationship with the people. And so for me, I think it was always so important to look at the person and not the product. And I think that's what really good churches do really well.
You said that one more time. Yeah.
I think it's important to look at the person and not the product. And I think that's where you see churches doing it really well, and you see churches doing it really poorly. And the churches that play into capitalism and the churches that become corporations, those are the ones that start to monetize their community, and they start to monetize their members of their church. Whereas then you see the people doing it differently, and you see that you can tell when you approach them. You get that spirit, and I really truly believe in spirituality. I turned away from the parts of the church, but it didn't change my connection with God, and that was the biggest thing. Is it didn't change my connection with, my spirituality in that center. It's the anchor in my life. And so you can see a lot of that in what we do here at Super 73. And I think it's nice to accept everyone and to welcome everyone with open arms.
That's awesome. Well, that's kind of it. So last question for you, thinking about church, and I love your story, by the way. Thank you so much for sharing. If you could send a message or give a message to a church any church that you feel like, okay, hey, if you want me in your door, if you want me bought in, what does that church have to look like for you?
Interesting. Yeah. I think I think what we need to start doing is looking at things not in black and white. And I think for so long it's been good and evil, and it's been left and right, and it's been black and white. And I think instead it's about looking at where people are and finding things that you can relate to those people with, instead of judging, instead of saying you fit into this box because you believe this thing. Find a bridge to that person, and I always say, I guarantee we have more in common than we don't. And I think that's the biggest thing. And if churches could do that more widespread, I think we'd see a huge revolution in that end of things.
Man, that's awesome.
Cool.
Thank you so much for that,
absolutely.
Mike.
Thank you guys.
That's cool. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you were in Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan.
No way. That's dope. Okay.
Yeah, so on this side, I used to be a Star Wars content creator.
Oh, dope.
And built suits of armor. I built a suit of armor for Snoop Dogg, and so all of that kind of evolved into
Yeah, I know, dude.
all of that evolved into kind of stepping into Lucasfilm, and so I have the opportunity now to be a part of the official productions.
Wow.
And so I wound down all my stuff on the side because Super 73 is obviously a huge part of my life.
Sure.
But now being an official part of Star Wars has been fun too. So yeah, it's a blast. It's like a dream come true. Every morning I pinch myself because
That's awesome.
it doesn't feel real.
Mike, where could we find you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm on social media, Michael Cannavo, my name, and then you can find Super 73 at Super 73.
Sweet.
Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome,
Thank you
guys.
so much,
Yeah,
Mike.
thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much, bro.
Appreciate it.
Chat.
Class. Yeah.